One of the questions I get the most is, how do we define leadership? How do we explain this concept? My first question back is always going to be, what is leadership to you? When you walk into a meeting, when you walk into your church, when you walk into a community environment, what are you looking for when you find a leader? I'm going to share with you kind of a weird secret. There's a lot of people out there that study leadership. There's a lot of books that have been written, a lot of YouTube videos that have been recorded. The secret is, if you put 100 people in a room and ask them all what leadership is, every single one of them is going to tell you something different. There's a lot of things we can hear, from communication to the ability to strategically plan, how we feel, what we know, what we hear. All these different concepts of leadership are going to come into being when we ask, what is leadership? There are some people that study leadership for their whole life and still believe it is something that you cannot become. You have to be born a leader. Now, to me, that's something that makes me really sad. I'd hate to think that all I can be is what I was born. I know we are more than that. There are people out there that have fought against handicaps and physical ailments to become better than doctors said they could be. I myself have a cousin, had a horrible infection, was told he would never walk again. He struggled for about 1.5 years, and even though it's with a cane, he walks today. So the definition of leadership of something we are born as is not something I can accept. I'm really excited by the fact that we can all grow and be a leader. So then my question will be always, what does leadership mean to you? When I think about leadership, I think about someone who engages with others. Someone who comes into a room and you can tell they're not the center of that room. People may respect them. People may be excited that they are there. But it is not all about them. They want to come into a room to make other people better. They put the well-being, the development, the growth of others before themselves. Now, that's not to mean that as a leader we have to put ourselves aside completely. Nobody would want to do that. Every psychiatrist in the world, every therapist in the world will tell you that is not something we can do and keep healthy. It's not good mentally, emotionally. If we go back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, if we put everyone before ourselves, we will be in trouble. But if we want to lead others to a greater tomorrow, that means we also have to put them first. We have to be of service. The main word when I think about leadership is service. I want to be of service to my community. And not just the community I live in, not the one that I grew up in, but the community as a whole. We are a global society now. No matter what we do, unless something catastrophic happens, we are always going to be connected to one another. We have cell phones that we can talk to somebody in China. We have the internet that we can talk to anyone in the world. We can learn about anything we want. Now, not to say that we always use that for the best thing. We still watch a lot of cat videos. We enjoy a lot of memes. Feel free to send me one. I love them all the time. But the first thing you do when you ask, what is leadership, is you have to define it for yourself. What are your values? What do you hold dear? And how do you want to make the world better? When we know that, we can start to define who we are as a leader. We can define how we want to change the world. Because if we want the title of leadership, we have to do something. One of my favorite ways I've heard leadership defined, it is not a passive word. It is an action-based word. If you are not doing something with it, then it's not there. The other thing I love about leadership is it's not something we can bestow upon ourselves. It is something that others give us. It's a special title. It's an honorific. Somebody can come up and see the good work you're doing and say, wow, that's a leader. I can't say if I'm a leader. If I let my ego jump in there, the first thing people are going to think is, oh, God, that's another one of these people. Oh, no. And we've all worked for those people. We've all seen those people in the media. We've seen our politicians be those people. Well, I'm a leader and I know what's right. That's not leadership. Serving others. Being there for others. Showing people love. The L word is something we can have a lot of trouble with some days. But true leadership comes at the basis of love. Because even if I don't like you, even if you're not my favorite person in the world, that doesn't mean that I can't love you and wish the best for you and try to be the best for you. It's something I have to make a decision to live my life in a way that serves others. That's why leadership isn't easy. That's why since the 1970s we have heard that we have a crisis of leadership, and we do. Because people want the title, but they do not want to do the work. Sometimes the work's really easy. Simon Sinek says his definition of leadership is when you ask someone how they're doing, you stop and listen. You care about the answer. Little things make the biggest impact. So I ask you, if you want to know what leadership is, ask yourself, what's the little things in your day that make your life better? What are the little things that others do that make your life better? And what do you do for them? Leadership in and of itself is not hard, but it can be difficult because you have to stay consistent. Those little things, those signs of love we give out have to stay consistent. It's not about us. We have to take our ego out of it and worry about them. Our family, our coworkers, our community members, our nation, our society as a whole. Leadership is a big concept that we have to think about others just as much as we think about ourselves.